welcome if you are new here. In today's video, we are doing another what I eat in a day. So I'm going to show you exactly what I have for breakfast, lunch and dinner, as well as any snacks I have throughout the day. So today I'm also doing some recipe testing. I'm trying out a new blondie recipe that has protein powder in it because I've recently tried this delicious vanilla flavored plant-based protein. The brand is INC Sports and I'm actually doing a review on it for my next video, so stay tuned for that. But it works really well in baking, so I wanted to try it in a blondie recipe. And oh my gosh guys, it's so good. So stay tuned to find out that recipe. I don't know if it's fully perfect yet because this is the first time I've ever made it, so I might kind of develop it a bit more in the future, but I hope you enjoy seeing the kind of raw footage of the first time I've ever made it. But it did turn out really well, so that's why I decided to keep it in the video. And yeah, it's a pretty standard what I eat in a day. I didn't really try to do anything special for this, so I hope you enjoy this realistic what I eat in a day video. If you are new here, it would mean the world to me if you could subscribe down below if you enjoy this video. I really appreciate every one of you who is subscribed and every one of you who is supporting me and commenting on my videos, so thank you so much. With all that said, let's jump straight into it. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you on the other side. Bye! So for breakfast this morning, I decided to have some blueberry muffin oats. This is a really simple oats recipe that I have very often. It's basically just water, quick oats. I add in half of a banana chopped up. I like adding banana because it adds a natural sweetness to the porridge, so you don't have to add, any sugar or any syrups or anything. I mean, you could always add in maple syrup on top if you want it extra sweet. However, I do think the banana gives it enough sweetness. Then I went in with some vanilla bean paste as well as some cinnamon to give that kind of muffin flavor. You could also add in some protein powder here if you want extra protein, but today I wasn't really in the mood, so I just added in some frozen blueberries. And I kind of like to fold my blueberries in because sometimes I don't want them mixed throughout the whole porridge. I like to kind of have a hit of it and then have a hit of plain porridge. That's just me. Anyway, that is all for the porridge, and I just transferred that to my nice little bowl. Then I just like to smooth it down a little bit so when my toppings go on, it's all kind of even. Today I put on some banana, hemp seeds, almond butter, and some desiccated coconut. Then, of course, I had this with a coffee. This is just my regular instant coffee with Oatly oat milk. Now it's time for some lunch. So today I'm just having a really simple salad. So I just cooked up some sweet potato in the oven for about 40 minutes. I just chopped it up nice and small and put it in the oven at around 200 degrees Celsius, which I think is about 390 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's what it looks like when it's all done, nice and crispy. And then for my tofu today, I actually picked up this from Woolworths. I'd never tried it before. This must be a new brand. So I just cooked it up on a pan for a couple of minutes on each side, and then it's time to assemble the salad. So first off, I went in with some spinach, then the cooked sweet potato, some fresh cucumber, grated carrot, red cabbage, fresh mint, and the tofu. And then I topped it off with some extra sweet chili sauce. This is actually just from the tofu packet, but if you have, your own homemade sweet chili sauce or a one that you've bought from the store, that can work well too. It's just to give this salad a bit of a dressing. And honestly, this is just so fresh and tasty. I just really wanted something, quite minimal and fresh today, so that's what I went with. Anyway, after lunch, I decided to make these blondies. So this was totally recipe testing. I had no kind of idea of what I was going to put in there, but I knew I wanted to put in some protein powder. I knew I wanted to put in chickpeas because I've heard chickpeas work really well in blondies. So yeah, I kind of just gave it a go and it did turn out really well. So I added in some chickpeas, some maple syrup, then I used ABC spread, so that's kind of like almond butter, but it's almonds, Brazil nuts, and cashews, so it's kind of a bit creamier and has a thinner texture. And then I also added in some vanilla plant-based protein, as well as some baking powder, baking soda, and salt. I actually did end up adding in some milk because it was too thin. You didn't actually see that in the video, but I added in about half a cup of milk. It was almond milk, as well as the pistachios and some white chocolate buttons. These are the brand Sweet William. If you want to check them out, they are completely dairy free and add a really nice taste to these blondies. And so then I just had to mix that all through with a wooden spoon because it's quite a thick mixture and you need that wooden spoon to really mix it around. So as you can see here, it's a bit hard to get into the tray, but what I would recommend is getting a spatula and putting a bit of water on it so that it's easier to smooth down. I struggled a bit getting it in the pan, but if you just use a spatula with some water on it, it should be a lot more simple. And then I'm just topping it off with some frozen raspberries. It's really important to use frozen raspberries because they push in better to the mixture. Otherwise, if you're using fresh, it'd be hard to get it in to the batter because it is quite a stiff, thick batter. So I definitely recommend using frozen raspberries, and plus frozen raspberries are cheaper, so it's just a win-win. And then I just topped it off with some chopped up pistachios just to give that extra little bit of crunch. The pistachios that I'm using here are salted ones. However, I'd probably recommend using unsalted because the mixture did turn out a little bit salty because of that added salt from the pistachios. So I would recommend using just plain pistachios. Then that went into the oven for about 20 minutes at 180 degrees. And this is the final product. It's actually really tasty, and it's great because it has that protein powder in it as well. I'll work out the macros and let you know in the description box below, but it is pretty healthy. I think it was around 150 calories per slice, which is pretty good for like a cake slice kind of thing. And it's honestly so tasty and perfect with a cup of tea. Like, this just goes a treat with a cup of English breakfast tea as a great afternoon snack. So now onto dinner. Today I actually decided to make stuffed capsicums. So what you have to do is get some capsicums, take out the insides, and then you put them in the oven for about 20 minutes while we're making the filling. So as you can see here, I am putting them in the oven at about 170 degrees Celsius. And then you get started on the filling. So for the filling, we are just using some olive oil and putting some brown onion in there. You just want to cook that down until it is nice and translucent. Then we're going to go in with some herbs and spices. Today I'm using a little bit of smoked paprika, as well as some garlic powder and some regular paprika as well. And then again, you just want to stir that all through. It makes the mixture go a lovely kind of reddy orange color, which is really beautiful. Then I added in some more olive oil because it was starting to stick to the pan a bit. So yeah, you just add in however much water you want. You could also use stock here if you're not big into oil, but honestly, like, a bit of oil is so fine for you, especially if you're using olive oil for cooking. It's really good. Now we're going in with the rice. So I was actually making a double portion here because my boyfriend was also making some capsicums for himself. So I have just put in 2 full cups of medium grain white rice. If you're just making one batch, I would say use 1 cup of rice, but as we are doing a double batch, we're using 2 cups of rice, and this double batch will make 6 servings. So if you're just doing the single one, it would be 3 servings. Then I'm adding in about 150 grams of chopped up mushrooms. I just love adding mushrooms in because, you know, you get some extra veg in there, and to be honest, like, you barely taste it because it just kind of mixes in with the rice and the whole mixture. So it's really good. And then I'm adding in some diced tomatoes. So you could use fresh tomatoes and you could also use pasta sauce. However, we didn't have that at home, so I just used some canned diced tomatoes, and that works fine as well. You just probably have to add in a bit more seasoning if you're not using a pasta sauce. Last time I made this, I used a really good pasta sauce and it worked really well, and I didn't have to add in as much seasoning, whereas this time I added in more seasoning. So it's basically up to you. You know, if you use a pasta sauce, less seasoning. If you use diced tomatoes, more seasoning. That's that. So I just added in some rosemary and thyme to give it a nice herby flavor. And then you're gonna have to let that cook for about, I would say, 10 to 15 minutes so that the rice absorbs all of that flavor and gets cooked fully. While that was cooking, I decided to make some fresh hummus because I love topping this recipe off with some fresh hummus. It tastes so good. So now it's about 15 minutes later and my rice is all cooked. As you can see, the bottom was starting to burn a little bit, but actually it was fine and it added a nice flavor to it. So just, you know, make sure you check on it after a while. You don't want it to burn too much. Then I just added in some more paprika because I thought it needed a bit more flavor, as well as some salt, and give that a good stir through. So now I'm just flattening it out and cutting it in half because I'm giving half to my boyfriend, who is using that in his stuffed capsicums because he adds meat into his, whereas I'm adding lentils. So this is actually a really good meal if you are making it with family members who aren't fully vegetarian or vegan, because they can use that base of the rice and just add in meat just before they stuff the capsicum. So it's a good meal if you are living with omnivores and you still want to eat the same thing. You just add your lentils and they can add whatever meat stuff they want to add. I'm also adding in a handful of parsley here because not only does it taste great, but it is jam-packed of many important nutrients such as vitamin A, vitamin K. It has folate in it and iron, so it's a great one to get into your diet when you can. So now the capsicums have cooked, and as you can see here, there's actually a lot of water that has accumulated in them, so you just want to empty that water out before you stuff them with your mixture. So as you can see here, I made 3 capsicums, but I actually had a lot of filling left over. With this amount of rice, you could probably make 6 capsicums. However, I didn't have that many capsicums at home and my boyfriend was using some of them as well. So I just made 3 stuffed capsicums, and then I had the rest of the rice mixture to have as leftovers on its own. And what actually ended up happening is that I was really hungry and I could not be bothered waiting for the capsicums to cook again. So what I ended up doing was just eating that leftover rice mixture for my dinner tonight. So what I did was fill my bowl with a bit of spinach as kind of the base, and then I topped it off with that delicious rice mixture. This is actually so good. And now that I think about it, it's kind of like a risotto in a way. Not quite, but anyway, then I just topped it off with that freshly made hummus, which is so good. I actually do have a video showing my hummus recipe, so I'll link it up in the top right corner here as well as in the description box below. But yes, that was my dinner for tonight. It was honestly so tasty. And then I had these beautiful capsicums for leftovers for the next few days, which is what I ate for lunch the following 2 days. So it's a really good meal for meal prep because they last quite a while in the fridge, and all you have to do is heat it up either in the microwave or in the oven, and it's super, super tasty and great as leftovers. So then a little bit after dinner, I was just feeling a bit peckish, so I decided to have that second brownie as well as some coffee. I'm just having decaf coffee here, obviously, because it is nighttime. I try to only have 1 caffeinated coffee a day nowadays, and then have decaf after that if I am feeling like a coffee again. And honestly, this was such a great dessert. The blondies were just A+, they were so good. And that's it for my day. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below what was your favorite meal of my day. Personally, mine was the snack because honestly those blondies turned out so well and they were so tasty. And yeah, I just love them. Yeah, so if you enjoyed this video and if you want to see more videos like this, I actually have a playlist full of what I eat in a day videos, so you can check that out in the link up here and also in the description box below. And yeah, let me know if you like this style of video, because I do tend to see that my what I eat in a day videos get like the highest amount of views out of pretty much every other type of video, but I am trialing some new video styles. So I have a video series where I'm eating like celebrities for a day. I'll also link that up here in the description box below. And yeah, I've been trying out some new styles of videos, so let me know if you like them, or like if you just want me to stick to what I eat in days. I want to do what you guys enjoy and what helps you in your health and well-being journey, so let me know. I hope you guys are safe and well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!